What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. We are the Distorted Theorists, Peter and Jussy, and we just got out of Furiosa, a Mad Max
You were going to screw up the title.
I was almost, but I didn't. But before we get into our immediate spoiler-free reaction and review, as always, if you want to support the channel, and we do appreciate it, if you would just hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and if you've seen the movie, let us know in the comments what you thought. Peter, give us your immediate reaction. What are you thinking?
So I was, and still am, a huge fan of Mad Max Fury Road. And for anyone who wasn't aware, this is the prequel to basically explaining the backstory of one of the characters that was introduced in Fury Road, which was played by Charlize Theron, Furiosa, who was a very mysterious character that came out of the blue. And now we kind of get her story as to why she is the way she is.
And especially for someone like me who, and I'll be honest, never watched the original Mad Maxes. I came into it when Tom Hardy took over the titular role in Fury Road. But knowing the characters and seeing how that all played out, I was actually super excited, along with your excitement obviously, to come see Furiosa and see what Anna Taylor-Joy could come up with, of course, with her co-star Chris Hemsworth, as we know, as Thor from the MCU. But let's start with...
And Tyler Rake and many other things.
Yeah, well, I mean, there was chaos, is the best way I can talk about this film. I guess we'll start with the action and the chaos. So what did you think of the shots? And I know we made a couple comments during the movie about practical effects, etc. So what do you think of all that?
So the big thing that I was most impressed with when it came to Fury Road, and we're going to be referencing Fury Road a lot in this review, is because it was the precursor to everything.
Too,
well, exactly.
Right?
And the biggest pull for what Fury Road was at the time when it came out, I think 8, 9, 10 years ago, was the practical effects. George Miller was able to create something that was huge, it was expansive, so much so that when he showed, the rumor goes, is that when he showed the first test footage to the executives, they were like, how much, we want more of that, how much more do you want? And they kind of gave him, I think they wrote a check for like another 10 million for him to do stuff.
Here, have fun.
The unfortunate thing with Furiosa is, there's still a lot of practical effects, but the CGI that is present with the visual effects, it is evident. However, it's not poorly done because it's not tight and gross. It's like there's a couple of things that you'll see someone tumble over the back of a bike and you're like, that wasn't a real person.
And I just want to say, I feel like a lot of those CGI or non-practical effects where it really does grab your attention, like, ooh, I see what they did there, was the quick shots, like the very, like we said early on, when someone jumps or gets picked up onto a horse, or like you said, tumbles off the back of a vehicle, you just get that glimpse for a quick second that if you're not fully immersed in the movie, you might just be like, oh, I noticed that, or hey, I noticed that. But when the explosions are happening, or the chains are rattling, or the guns are firing, I feel like I felt I was so immersed in what was happening in that moment that I didn't realize anything else was basically movie magic.
The cool thing about these new Mad Max films is there's very little dialogue. In Fury Road, I believe Tom Hardy, I think he had something like 37 lines of dialogue, and I believe in this one, I think the total number of lines of dialogue for Anna Taylor-Joy is something like 42.
Yeah.
Something along those lines. Chris Hemsworth actually is just
spewing,
just word vomit everywhere.
It's funny because speaking of Chris Hemsworth's character,
as Dementis.
As Dementis, I kind of, a few times in the movie I caught myself, I know you won't like this reference probably, or comparison, but I kind of got glimpses of Jason Momoa's Dante from Fast and Furious 10 a little bit, but a little more...
Which, he was the best part of Fast X. I'm not going to say anything
100%.
else. The villain role that Jason
And we've
had
said that in our review, if you've seen it on the channel. But I think Chris Hemsworth's character is a little more foolish, is the word I would like to use.
He's eccentric, he's eloquent, he is using words that he doesn't understand the meaning of. He has his helpers. Whatever his learned
his pick
helper.
of the day is what I call it in the movie. But so another thing, and I want to just jump back to what you said. Like you said, very little dialogue from certain characters. Important dialogue when it was used, which was great. But one thing I found myself also noticing going to the soundscape of the movie was that there was very little background music, is what I call it. Like a lot of movies, you get these big eccentric symphonic orchestras going on. But I felt this was very quiet. So you can hear every chain rattle,
And
every
that's-
engine roar, and like I mean,
And that's the important thing, because that was something I'm not sure as much as it was in the original Mad Max 1, 2, and Beyond Thunderdome. I'm getting the titles mixed up, I'm sorry.
Right.
But that was something that was part of the big soundscape of Fury Road as well. Everything was based in engines, in metal clanking, in gasoline, in fire, all these natural things that were part of it. So you're not getting these massive soundscapes. You're not getting the Alan Silvestri. You're not getting the Danny Elfman. You're not getting any of these massive soundscapes. You're hearing the environment, which was what was so cool in Fury Road, and it traveled over to Furiosa.
And
as
we've
well.
seen it, of course, just to let everyone know, we've seen it in IMAX, so we were actually getting that. Like everything was just, it was like it was like you were sat in the middle of the road and everything was just happening around you. Of course, we've seen a bunch of returning characters, a lot of familiar faces. We're like, oh, that's that guy again. I may not have picked up on all of them, but I know you caught a few cameos, we'll say, that I won't talk about right now.
Well, we got, I mean, like even returning characters, which they're not returning because they would be in the following movies. Well, we got Immortan Joe, we got the People Eater, and I believe we got Scrotus. I can't remember if we got
Scrotus and Rectus.
I can't remember if if both of those characters were in Fury Road, but I'm pretty sure Scrotus was. And there was a couple of cheeky cameos.
Yeah.
I'm just going to leave it at that.
No
and overall, I mean, the biggest names that were in it. There was a third character which I thought the original Praetorian Jack, or Praetor Jack, which was, I wasn't expecting that to be a recurring character across all of Immortan Joe's and the Citadel's backstory. And Tom Burke, unknown to me, and maybe he's bigger in Australian cinema, I'm not sure. But I was rooting for that character the entire time.
Same, and I mean, we seen what was budding, and I was like, okay. I mean, I want to see some success here. I'm trying to think. Anna Taylor-Joy, like you said, I didn't realize. I guess I shouldn't use her name. I'll use Furiosa. We do get a very good, which is from the trailer, so it's not a spoiler. We do get the passage of time on her character, and I didn't realize that this movie was going to be that. I thought it was, here's Anna Taylor-Joy as Furiosa, boom, boom, boom. But without giving too much away, again, it was somewhat in the spoilers, in the trailer, is that you get to see multiple time frames of her
chapters.
life. Exactly, chapters is a good word. And what she's accomplishing, and like you said, how she got to be where she is when Charlize Theron takes over the role in Mad Max Fury Road. And I mean, the chemistry, what do you think of like Chris Hemsworth and Anna Taylor-Joy characters once they started to where, their storyline goes?
Well, the way the chemistry works in this one is, again, so something that I wanted to mention as well is it relates to chemistry because it also changes the way that you think about certain characters. Because in Fury Road, Immortan Joe's bandits or whatever, the guys that are painted in the white, the henchmen, they're painted in the white and they keep spraying, oh, what a lovely day. They're generally seen as the bad guys.
Yeah.
But in this movie, everyone's bad.
Yeah.
Everyone's the bad guy in some manner of speaking.
This is literally the term of siding with a lesser evil, I guess. So
you're rooting for Furiosa for the entirety of the film, obviously. And again, where it's a prequel, there's not a ton of stakes because she's in Fury Road, so
we
you
know
she's going to live. So there's no major stakes in her character, it's just how does she get there?
Yeah.
So when you're looking at Dementis's war band and you're looking at Immortan Joe's henchmen, they're just like, they're parts of a moving machine. They're working parts and working cogs. So when it comes to it, they're just like, and you actually feel for some of the characters that you would normally in Fury Road be like, they're the bad guys. And there's some critters and characters that are in this that are clearly evil and bad, but do they know they're evil? And that's kind of where it shakes.
But you know what? I think that is a true testament to how good this film is that knowing where this character ends up, but everyone is still, coming to the theater to watch how the story plays out of how that character got to be where she was, and it kept us at the edge of our seat watching it the whole time, is just a testament to the lore that they built for Mad Max, the world building they've done, and the characters that you actually feel invested in. But Peter, before we take it out, as always, what is your rating on this movie? What's your final thoughts?
I'm going to give this
and choose
8.
wisely.
I don't know. I'm going to say like high 8s. 8 If we're gonna go with like simple ratings, 8.5. It's not quite a 9.
Right.
Fury Road is still a better film in my opinion. The unfortunate thing about this now, and it's kind of a sadness because I don't know where Mad Max is going here. George Miller, he's an old fella. I don't know who's gonna be able to take up the mantle of doing Mad Max beyond this. Tom Hardy and Charlize Theron, apparently they did mesh on set, so I don't know. Is Mad Max the same person all around? Are we going to get a different iteration of Mad Max? I want to see more of it.
The legacy.
The legacy. It's just kind of like, who's James Bond? Is James Bond the same character?
Right.
Or is it a different person every single
right.
time that is just, I'm James Bond, this is my code name?
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, that's
I was just
pretty
going to
much
say as well, for me, when I come to rating this movie, a little bit different in your opinion, only because I was brought into Mad Max with Fury Road, and I felt like when I watched it at home, unfortunately, or fortunately, whatever you want to call it, I felt confused watching it, because maybe because I didn't know the characters, maybe because I didn't understand the story, what was going on, they were fighting over water and fuel, and et cetera, et cetera. But going into Furiosa,
You get a little more-
I knew what to expect, and it just broadened my knowledge, as I said, on the world building. So for this one, I think I really enjoyed it. I was focused the whole time, loved what was going on screen, and I was wondering what was going to happen leading up to the end. I'm going to say like an 8.9 for me.
Yeah, like it was up
It's
there
not
for
my
me.
cup of tea type film, but something that can keep me guessing the whole time and keep me invested in a movie that's not my usual genre. I have no choice, I feel, but to rate it high.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Like, it's a long movie. It's almost 2.5 hours long, so it gets a bit long in the tooth. However, I understand why it's the length that
It
it
needed
is.
it.
And like, I enjoyed it. Like, that's the biggest thing that I can take out of it. I enjoyed Mad Max Fury Road, so therefore I enjoyed this.
Yeah.
Is this everyone's cup of tea? No. It isn't. Hot take. It is not going to be. This is the closest to what I would consider an action art film.
Yeah. It's subjective.
Yeah, it's not going to be for everybody, unfortunately.
Yeah. But if you are looking for something to go to the cinema at this weekend, definitely head out and check it out. I mean, there's obviously other ones like Garfield and If and many movies for you to go see. But I think our recommendation is.
But the other thing is this is the beginning of like our summer because look, you can't see it, like Alien.
I mean, there are just movies coming out.
There's got Twisters. We got a ton of other movies that are
And
coming out.
and obviously Deadpool.
Oh yeah, I haven't heard of that. I'm completely unaware of which you
So
speak.
Ryan, if you want to reach out, just hit us up on the Twitter. But yeah, if you're looking for a movie to go see, definitely we're telling you, I think, to go see this one. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us for our immediate review and reaction straight out of Furiosa. Furiosa.
You're learning it.
A Mad Max Saga. As always, if you want to support the channel, we definitely appreciate it. If you would take the time to just hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. As I said, if you've seen the movie already, leave us a comment down below with spoilers if you want of what you thought of it. And with that, I am the real Jussy.
I'm Peter Parkour, and like we always like to say around here, keep it real.
Real.